Good afternoon. My name is Alvin Jones, and today we have traveled to Valwood High School in Hayhire, Georgia, to get the inside scoop on how the Valwood High School varsity baseball team is getting ready for such a different season. Coming into a new season, Valwood looks to compete in the Georgia 3A region. The Valiant's head coach, Robert Shipman, describes what has been the biggest challenge for the team amidst the pandemic.
Because we have 9 freshmen, I've really have put my mindset on just teach, and I'm lowering expectations a little bit, to a certain point. But what I'm saying is, man, I cannot tell you how to do something enough. And then where in the past where you have experienced players, you might not say things 3 and 4 times before you get after them, But I've been mindful that to make sure that I'm going to repeat myself. I'm going to instruct a certain movement, certain discipline, whether it be defense, whether it be base running, whether it be swinging, whether it be small ball, whether it be double cuts, rundowns, whatever.
With this in mind, Coach Shipman looks forward to a breakout season from his young group of guys, who also look forward to competing in this region.
On 3 Valwood, ready? 1, 2, 3. Valwood.
From Valwood High School, I'm Alvin Jones. We'll see you in the next episode. On today's episode, we travel back to Lowndes County High School to get a better understanding of how the boys' varsity soccer team handled preparation for the pandemic. During the 2020 season, the boys started off strong, averaging 500 through the first 6 games. However, the COVID-19 pandemic cut the rest of their season short. Going into the 2021 season, the Vikings were under the impression that their season will also be canceled due to the pandemic. However, the Georgia High School Sports Association granted them a year to compete in the Georgia 7A region.
So before the pandemic, we had summer practices, and we weren't able to do those with the ball. So it was really conditioning. We had to limit the number of times we could see each other during the week. It just kind of slowed us down. Our summer training wasn't as intense as it normally is, so in that aspect, it kind of slowed us down.
I caught up with senior Nathan Fairflaw to get his preparation for this year's season. Nathan and the rest of the Vikings look forward to competing in the Georgia 7A region with hopes of winning the GSA championship. From Lowndes High School, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On this episode, we traveled to Ink Addiction Tattoo Parlor on Baytree Road. Ink Addiction Tattoo has been serving the citizens of Valdosta since 1993, offering many designs as well as images in a book that any customer can choose from, and they are guaranteed a desirable fit. Ink Addiction also strongly holds itself accountable for its cleanliness as well as following all regulations. I caught up with tattoo artist Bradley Sutton off camera to discuss how the COVID-19 pandemic affected business. He said that many businesses were affected and most had to shut down for over a month due to the rise in numbers in the city of Valdosta. This made it difficult for many to pay bills and made it harder for me to find financial relief. Bradley said that the one thing that the pandemic has taught him is to keep an open mind, to always treat every customer with respect, no matter where the background. Ink Addiction promises to stay open and vows to continue serving every customer with a smile. From Ink Addiction Tattoo, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On this episode, we visited B-Town Vapors off of Norman Drive. B-Town Vapors is a relatively new vape spot that was established in 2018 and has been serving the citizens of Valdosta since. B-Town Vapes includes premium juices, CBD oil, mods, tanks, reward programs, a lounge and game area, and much more things for the citizens of Valdosta. I caught up with the manager, Tony Crosby, to get the inside scoop on how business was amidst the pandemic.
At first, you got to meet all the regulations, make sure everyone is 6 feet apart and everything, social distancing, right? Past that, we were just open, and it just you'd get every time there was a news report, you get a whole bunch of people come popping in. Yeah, they all want to come in. They're just like, I don't know if you'll ever have juice anymore.
Despite the common negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, such as bankruptcy and business foreclosure, B-Town Vapes has seen an increase in the amount of vapors that there are in Valdosta, and therefore business has skyrocketed. Mr. Crosby guarantees that anybody who walks in will leave with warm arms and will walk out satisfied. From B-Town Vapors, I'm Malcolm Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On today's episode, we visit the Lowndes County Vikings out of Valdosta, Georgia. The Lowndes County Vikings baseball team was out doing drills using their pitching machine as well as their turtle to do infield and outfield BP work. The baseball team looks forward to having a strong season after having the last season cut out by the 2019 COVID pandemic. We caught up with head coach Ryan Page to see what was the preparation going into this year's season amidst the pandemic last year.
Well, it's a little different, obviously with all the guidelines and the mask and keeping things clean and doing those kind of things. It's a little bit different. It's been a little bit of a challenge, but we haven't missed too much of a beat, and we're just rocking on and doing what we've always done.
Aside from that, Coach Page looks forward to having a great season and shares his favorite memory with this year's group of seniors.
Look at here, last year was my first senior group as a head coach, and people tell you that they're different and you don't believe it, but I tell you there's a huge difference each year. This group's just been, they're just a great group of athletes, good players, good kids. They grind, they're competitive. They just, they got that whole attitude of they're just not going to be beat, and they just like to compete. That's what makes them so different.
From Lowndes County High School, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On this episode, we traveled to Mackey Park in Valdosta, Georgia, to catch the Lowndes High School varsity tennis team compete in the regional tournament. The Lowndes tennis team has been having an exceptional season, with the girls remaining undefeated, as well as the boys putting up strong performance numbers. Like many schools, the Lowndes High School varsity tennis team lost their season last year to the COVID-19 pandemic, but that has not stopped them as they have continued to prepare for this regional tournament. We caught up with head coach Heath Phelps on what's been the preparation for this week's tournament.
Well, I'll tell you what, last season was tough on everybody, not just sports teams, but in general at the school. We didn't get halfway through the season. And going in this fall, honestly, we didn't know what to expect for the spring. We dealt with a lot of quarantine issues at the school and other sports did in the fall.
Coach Phelps believes in his team, and he also shares what are his biggest expectations for the rest of the year.
Region tournament's always a big time of year. That's kind of what I like to tell them. Our third and final season starts today. This tournament's a seeding for state playoffs.
From Mackey Park in Valdosta, Georgia, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On this week's episode, we traveled to North Ashley Street to get the scoop from ProFit Muffin Center. ProFit has been serving the citizens of Valdosta for over 40 years, specializing in certain techniques such as muffler repair, catalytic converters, custom exhaust, welding, and many other car services. I caught up with the owner, John Brown, to get the basis of what ProFit is all about.
This is you have a problem with your car and it's either losing power or consumption, too much gas, and other mechanics or other shops have told them they have a problem with exhaust. Then they come to me. And so it's a lot of reference from other garages that keep us going too.
I also called with Mr. Brown to get an understanding of how business occurred at the beginning of the pandemic.
Well, like everybody else, it affected every aspect of the economy. It slowed people down from repairing their cars so they could pay the essentials like food, doctors, and stuff like that. It really affected us pretty hard.
From ProFit Muffler Center on North Ashley Street, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On today's episode, we traveled to Recoil Trampoline Park off of North Ashley Street in Valdosta, Georgia. Recoil Trampoline Park has been serving the citizens of Valdosta since 2019 and offers jump admissions to any person of any age. Recoil Trampoline Park also offers different type of parties for any gender, whether it be sports or princess theme. Recoil Trampoline Park also offers many activities to do, such as basketball, dodgeball, a trapeze course, a kid jump, and a free jump. Like many businesses, Recoil was also affected by the pandemic. I caught up with the on-duty manager at the time, off camera, to get her input on how business was during the pandemic. And she explained to me that business was very slow due to the fact that many were within 6 feet of each other, so business was shut down for at least a month and a half. When business was back reopened, they saw a surge in the amount of customers that wanted to jump, and the business has been skyrocketing ever since. From Recoil Trampoline Park, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On today's episode, we traveled to Lounge High Weight Room to get a closer look on how the men's and women's lounge track sprinters prepare for their respective event. Over the last 7 years, the lounge track team has won 6 of 7 region championships and was on their way to competing for the 7th region championship until the COVID-19 pandemic abruptly ruined their season. I caught up with senior Nevaeh Sermons off camera to get a better understanding of how the pandemic affected the team last year and how she is prepared for her final year. She explained that the season getting cut last year was very disheartening, and she was unaware if she would get another chance for her final season. This year, Nevaeh and the rest of the team are putting up great numbers. Nevaeh even posted a new personal record of 13.68 seconds at the Yellow Jacket Relays for the 100 meters and 29.29 seconds at the Lounge Quad Meet for the 200 meters. The rest of the team continues to succeed as they have won first place for the boys and girls in the last 4 meets. The team looks to continue to strive in the weight room as they are looking forward to competing in the GSA Regionals at the end of April. From the Lounge High Weight Room, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. On this week's episode, we traveled to Cool Comics on North Ashley Street to see how they were affected by the 2019 pandemic. Cool Comics is a comic book store that has been serving the superhero enthusiasts of Valdosta since 2002. From DC Universe characters such as Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and many more, to Marvel characters such as Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, the Hulk, and many others, Cool Comics has a variety of many superheroes to choose from. At the start of the year 2020, the pandemic shut down many businesses in Valdosta, and Cool Comics was no exception. I caught up with owner Andrew Oliver to get the scoop on how he was affected by the pandemic.
It was hard. It was hard. It was obviously the beginning of the pandemic back in March when people were told to stay home was a stressful time. So it caused me to really just sit down, kind of dig my feet in the dirt real heavy, and figure out the best approach. It was an interesting time. The comic book distributors were shut down, so I didn't have any new product coming in, and so I had to take a closer look at the collectibles that I had in my store, and do a thorough evaluation of what people were truly looking for, which they were searching obviously for things online, and then offer them an experience.
Mr. Oliver plans to stay in good spirit and plans to continue to serve the citizens of Valdosta for as long as he can. From Cool Comics, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. Coming off of a strong outing in the previous years, today we're getting the inside scoop on what has made the Valwood tennis team so successful. 2020 was a dark time for the Valwood Valiants as they lost their season due to COVID-19. This year, they are looking to improve every day in hopes of a great season moving forward. We caught up with Coach Daniela Barta to get the inside scoop on how she feels the season will go for the Valwood Valiants.
Well, so unfortunately last year we didn't play a lot of games, of course because of COVID, due to COVID. But I think this year definitely is going to be social distancing from the opponents and of course from, well, teammates as well, definitely. Other than that, of course, I'm curious what the protocol is going to be like, because this is basically my second season with them, but it's my first year since last year got abrupted because of COVID.
Coach Barton continues to uplift the tennis team as they look to compete in the Georgia 3A region. We caught up with a member of the girls' varsity tennis team to get her favorite memory before the pandemic.
Well, probably just my teammates cheering me on while I play a match, and also us winning state.
Thank you for tuning in. My name is Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. This was an episode of the Beauty World Supply Store in North Washington. Beauty World is a position store that has been serving the citizens of Valdosta since 2014. With a variety of hair care products, do-rags, brushes, wigs, and other accessories, Beauty World continues to supply the citizens with all beauty needs. At the beginning of 2020, the pandemic shut down many businesses in the area, including Beauty World. I caught up with one of the managers to get his interpretation of the pandemic at the beginning of the year. He said the pandemic caused for many stores in the area to close down for 3 weeks to a month. This was especially hard on Beauty World as most of the employees lost finances due to the lack of customers. Now in 2021, he is appreciative that the store is still running and that customers continue to shop. Before I departed, he wanted to leave one lasting message. He wanted to let any person who comes into the store know that they will be getting a warm welcome as well as excellent customer service while they are at Beauty World. From Beauty World on North Ashley Street, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. The 2020 season was very difficult for many high schools, including the varsity men's soccer team here at Baldwin High School. Today, we're getting the inside scoop on what's been going to the preparation for this year's season. The Valwood men's soccer team looks to bounce back for the 2021 spring season after losing their last season to COVID-19. The men's team keeps themselves in shape by putting in many hours on the field, going through rigorous drills, as well as interplay with the women's varsity soccer team. We caught with the head coach off camera, and he is expecting a breakout season from his seniors. We caught up with Bay Mormon on what was his preparation amidst the pandemic.
Yeah, since we had no season last year, it's been tough coming back. I mean, I almost forgot half the moves and stuff, half the plays that we do out here. But once we're coming back, with all the guys, team coming out here, we've definitely learned to pick right back off where we went off last year, and we've kind of gone pretty good.
Bay and the rest of the Valwood men's varsity soccer team look forward to competing in the Georgia 3A region, with hopes of going deep into the Thank you for tuning in. My name is Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. Many teams had different expectations going into this year. Today, we're getting the inside scoop on what is the expectations for the women's varsity high school soccer team. The Lady Valiants are looking for a comeback season after having their last season taken by COVID-19. We caught up with co-captains Madison Shapiro and Hannah Stevenson on how the COVID-19 pandemic affected the team.
Well, we came in, from COVID, and I know a bunch of us have worked a lot over the summer, and we came in with high hopes and just wanting a season more than anything.
From last year, we haven't really done anything different than we have in previous seasons, but we have had to work a lot harder.
I also caught up with head coach Lori Sable on what was the biggest loss for the team as well as the biggest positive.
So COVID last year was a big disappointment in that we graduated or had 8 to 10 seniors that were going to play on last year's team. And so they had real high expectations and they only played a game or two and then it was over. But we knew we had a great group of freshmen coming up this year. So it's been a big transition, but the girls definitely played some in the off season, worked really hard, and so we're just excited to be on the field and able to play a season this year.
With daily battles against the men's varsity team, the Lady Valiants are looking for a comeback season in the Georgia 3A region. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. for the perfect bite for any age, and this has found them success in recent years. However, the COVID-19 pandemic caused for the mix to change its guidelines to ensure that every customer was safe. We caught up with one of the workers to get the inside scoop on how business was at the beginning of the pandemic.
During the pandemic, there was definitely a time of chaos because being a self-serve establishment, there's a lot of customers touching everything, doing everything themselves, and so we kind of had to rework the business around that. We started as employees, doing everything ourselves, helping the customers.
Despite having to change its protocols and guidelines, the mix still has a satisfactory grade of an A, right in time for the spring and summer. I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. Crunch Fitness is a chain workout spot that just opened a new location at the Valdosta Mall. They offer a variety of weights and machines that vary in what muscle that they can develop. They also offer a fuel and hydration station where you can replenish the energy that you lost. Even though Crunch Fitness recently opened this location, it is already becoming a hotspot for the citizens of Valdosta. We sat down with manager Chance Rowe to get the inside scoop on how Crunch Fitness came to be.
So Crunch started in 1989 as actually like a cassette tape, or not a cassette tape, but like a VHS tape, like a group fit kind of aerobics exercising. It actually started in like a kind of a basement, and then they actually created their own studio for the aerobic group fitness classes. Then they started adding equipment and just kept making additions and everything, and then it became a full-on gym. And they wanted to include everything that people enjoy about the gym into one area, so Crunch was born.
Another benefit of Crunch Fitness is that they offer a massage station as well as a tanning station for members who want to massage their muscles or get that tan feeling. I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode. Like all other schools in 2020, the Valwood track team lost their season to the pandemic. Many of the players were unsure they would even have a 2021 season, so we caught up with seniors Madison Hall and Mary Claire Martin on how their track season ended in 2020 and how they're preparing for the upcoming season.
Well, I mean, everybody got sent home, so we didn't we didn't have track, but all of us still went home and did our workouts and everything.
Well, I was really sad about track season last year that it got cut short because I was on the road to win state championship, and it made me want to work harder to come back this year and really make it.
Behind the seniors as well as the rest of the team is head coach Jen Henderson, who pushes the team to greater expectations. We caught up with Coach Henderson on what has been the biggest positive over the last 4 years.
My favorite memory with this group of seniors is that they were the first group I worked with, so I've got to see them kind of grow over the years. So that'd be my favorite memory, is watching them grow and them growing with me, because track is a new sport for me. I didn't play it in high school, so I've kind of had to learn as I coached it, and they've been a fun group to work with.
Coach Henderson looks to prepare her team for the 4 upcoming track meets, as well as the state track meet at the end of the month of April. From Valwood High School, I'm Alvin Jones. We'll see you in the next episode. Today, we stopped by Relish, a burger spot off of Baytree Road. Established in 2009, Relish has been serving up customizable burgers and sides to the citizens of Valdosta. From lettuce, tomatoes, red onions, and mushroom, to ketchup, mustard, ranch, and barbecue sauce, Relish offers many sauces and toppings free of charge with any entree. They also have specialty drinks like milkshakes. Like other businesses around Valdosta, Relish too was affected by the 2019 pandemic. I caught up with a worker off camera to get his insight on how business was during the pandemic. They shared that at the beginning of the pandemic, business was closed due to the high numbers rising. So it was kind of hard to make a living as there was no hours to gain. But as months passed, businesses were allowed to open back up and Relish was available for hours again. Before departing, he assured me that any customer that comes in will get a fresh meal as well as 100% customer service. And that is backed up by the 100% customer service satisfactory grade posted on the wall, as well as his interactions with his customers. From Relish Burgers, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode.
On this week's episode, we traveled to the city of Valdosta to cover the 7-in-1 Expo held for the citizens of Valdosta. This event was made in place by a coordinating team for City Hall, and it was to bring out citizens of all ages to participate in a scavenger hunt, with one lucky winner winning a grill. Many departments came out, including the police department, the fire department, ambulance, and many more. And many other local businesses came out to show their support. In the end, there was a meeting held by the city council members as well as the mayor to go over new topics, things in the works, and any type possible citizens' remarks at the end of the meeting for further investigations. We caught up with the coordinator, Ms. Vanessa Ross, just to get a little bit more on what this event is about.
This event is the first annual City Expo and Ice Cream Social. And what we're doing is we're combining several events this evening.
At the end of the event, the council members and the mayor walked over to the new plot and broke the ground, signaling the start of the new park. From the city of Valdosta, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode.
On this week's episode, we traveled to the Lowndes High School track to see how the cross country team handled the COVID-19 pandemic and how they plan on preparing for the GSA region tournament at the end of April. Through the years, the Lowndes High cross country team has put up phenomenal numbers through meets, as they have won the region nearly every year. The COVID-19 pandemic cut their season short midway through the 2020 season. I caught up with team captains Kylie Matheson and Andrew Caruana to get their preparation for this year's season.
I think mainly for us, we were able to just focus on our running on our own and not too much like what our coaches gave us during the summer, and just easy miles and keeping our bodies and minds in the right shape.
It was not fun having to run on my own while the pandemic was in full fallout. So it really had me pumped to be able to run with other people finally.
I also caught up with the head coach, Martha Mazakevich, off camera to get her expectations through the rest of the year. Coach says she is proud of all the hard work that her team is putting in, and she can't wait to see it pay off in the GSA track regionals. From there, they hope to advance to sectionals and then the championship. From the Lowndes High track, I'm Alvin Jones, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Guys up three, 1, 2, 3, Vikings.
This Cash Money Mark, welcome to MTV. Nah, I'm just playing, man. This E-Man, welcome to my life, man. I'm also known as Cesar the Vampire on Instagram. That's my artist name, You finna learn more about me and my music.
Emmanuel Webicon is an aspiring rapper that resides currently at Valdosta State University. Emmanuel spends his day as a mass media student taking classes at Valdosta State, but at night he records different music of different genres. I followed up with E-Man to get a closer look on his life and where he resides originally, as well as some questions about his taste in music.
Oh, I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, in Africa, but I'm really from Atlanta because I've been there like 5-6 years. You feel me?
Emmanuel likes to vibe in free time to brainstorm lyrics.
This shit incomplete though. I only made the drums and the synth.
It's coming together though.
Yeah. Bring on the dance hole. Bring on the side hole.
I asked Emmanuel, how did he get into music?
Man, I got into music. Man, I can't say I got into music, man. I was born into music, you feel me? Like, growing up, I was listening. My peoples was listening to Pink Floyd. I'm talking about Nirvana. We was listening to, like, the big, heavy bands at the time. So all my life, I've really been listening to, like, alternative music. When I got to the U.S., I was like, damn, like, hip-hop, that's something I can do. You feel me?
Emmanuel has a passion for music as he has collabed with other students here at VSU.
I'm kinda neat comments and rockin' designer. I hop in the booth and I'm spitting this fire. I got a bad bitch and you know that we riding, we sliding. I just started rapping, it turned to my profit. She told me she loved me, I told her she lying. I can't do no cap. All of these niggas be capped. Don't get to reaching this, stay in my jacket.
I asked Emmanuel what was the best thing about music.
Man, the best thing about music is, man, I think it's the greatest form of art in this planet. Like, people express themselves in so many different ways, but music is forever. I'm talking about 1,000 years from now, people are still gonna be playing Michael Jackson. Nigga, you know how I got that flute sample, bro? I'm talking about.
I chopped up a little.
All them dudes from back in the days, the Beatles, people still bumping their music. They've been dead 10, 20 years. So music is everlasting. That's why.
I also asked E-Man what song he felt would give him his big break.
My breakout song, man. I got a song. No lie, I got a song on Apple Music and Spotify right now. It's called Bonnie and Clyde featuring Thug.Q. That song right now got 57K streams. You feel me? But one song I think, man, I can hit 1 million. It's this new song I made like 2 months ago. It's called Iggy the Fool. It's based on the character Iggy the Fool from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm talking about, I got synths in there. I got guitar. I got crazy guitars that I'm talking about. Dudes from Africa sent me. I'm getting samples from everywhere. I feel like I'm on my Kanye-ish. You feel me?
I asked E-Man what is his goal with music going forward in life.
Everybody gonna say, man, I want all the records, I want all the Grammys, all the #1s. Honestly, I just want my music to be heard by somebody. Like, I'm more focused on film and like making it to Hollywood. But music is also a passion of mine because not only am I good at it, like I feel like I can truly make it in music. And my style of music is so diverse. I'm not in one genre. I'm in hip hop. I'm in alternative music. I'm in pop. I'm talking about I'm doing R&B on the side. I'm doing Afro music. Like it don't matter. I do everything.
E-Man continues to
That's
rap
one thing I will say was
and
she
continues to
know
be
how
a
to play
student at
some niggas,
BSU
bro.
heading into his senior
That's
year.
why.
We
Baby,
wish
pull up
E-Man
on
the
the
best
side.
on his
I'ma
endeavors.
jump on the roof.
This has been
Jumping
Alvin
outside of
Jones.
my coupe.
Thank you for tuning in.
Space 22. Nigga don't know how to lose. You're gonna